the ethereal beauty, the boundless nature, the infinite mountainscapes, an atmosphere which whispers ancient history, all are synonymous to a land which is pure, pristine, peaceful, the Dev Bhumi, the abode of the gods, the land of spiritualism, holiness, a center of gravity for the Hindu religion, Uttarakhand. The state is divided into two divisions, Garhwal and Kumaon, with a total of 13 districts. The provisional capital of Uttarakhand is Dehradun, the largest city in the region, which is a railhead. Blessed with magnificent glaciers, sparkling rivers, the gigantic peaks, natural biospheres, the valley of flowers, and dense forests. This abode is also the home of several shrines, places of pilgrimage and worship. Yamunotri, Gangotri, Kedarnath and Badrinath, better known as the Char Dham, attracts millions of pilgrims and tourists every year between the months of May and November. The river Bhagirathi and Alaknanda, with its tributaries, confluence at Devaprayag, 68 kilometers above the holy town of Rishikesh, to finally merge and be the mighty river Ganga, which begins its long journey to the sea, flowing by the banks of Haridwar, where Amrit, or elixir, had fallen from the heaven. The holy shrine of Kedarnath, situated at 11,700 feet above sea level, is about 80 kilometers from Rudraprayag, one of the Panch Prayags where the river Mandakini confluence with Alaknanda. Mandakini flows from the glaciers above the ancient temple of Kedarnath, built around the 8th century AD by Adi Shankaracharya. The temple practically stands on the glaciers itself, presently the snowline moving higher due to global warming. The Kedarnath peak, 22,750 feet, with Sumeru Parvat, Bharatkhunda and the mighty Chokamba, 23,350 feet, rises above the shrine. The Mandakini Glacier, known as the Chora Bali Glacier, with its companion glaciers, forms the river Mandakini, just about 1 kilometer above the temple, flowing through the township, almost built on the river itself. The shrine of Badrinath is another 175 kilometers from Rudraprayag along the river Alaknanda. The road passing through Karnaprayag, Joshimath, Pandukeshwar, Hanuman Chatti, ultimately reaching Vasudhara, the source of Alaknanda from the Satopan glaciers. Kedarnath is the abode of Lord Shiva, whereas Badrinath is of Lord Vishnu. The mighty peak of Nilkant, 20,750 feet, rises above the temple of Badrinath and worshipped as Lord Vishnu by the devotees. Spiritual tourism has played a very important role among the local people for their living. Many ancient temples like Adi Badri near Karanprayag, Jageshwar in Almora and Laksha Mandal on way to Yamunotri attracts many tourists and pilgrims. This peace, tranquility, spiritual high was shattered by 4 days of nature's fury, bringing the Dev Bhumi, the abode of gods, down to earth.
Kedarnath is the epicenter of the tragedy.
Temple town of Kedarnath, remember, one of the Char Dhams over there, is now looking like one of the worst affected.
It is clear that large areas around the Kedarnath shrine have been breached and they have been washed away.
During June 2013, Uttarakhand experienced one of the worst catastrophes, the fury of nature, anger of Lord Shiva as it happened at Kedarnath and its adjoining mountain area. The cold westerly depression moved from Europe to reach Uttarakhand around mid-June to collide with the warm southeast monsoon which moved from the Bay of Bengal, causing extreme rains from 14 June 2013. The wettest June in 5 decades, causing devastating flash floods and massive landslides, India's worst disaster since tsunami in 2004. 4 days of Holocaust, more than 6,000 dead, homeless, ravaged and rampaged. Destruction of roads and bridges, leading to more than 100,000 pilgrims and tourists trapped in the valleys, fighting death and despair. The rainfall was torrential and was 375% more than the normal standards. The weather satellite continued to send images of more rains 15th June onwards, recording a rainfall of more than 500 millimeters within 12 hours between 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. On 16th of June, Kedarnath region received the maximum rains, and by 17th June, the river Mandakini began to engulf the Kedarnath town at 12,700 feet, with freezing ice water flowing down the Chorabari Glacier. 3 kilometers above Kedarnath, a dammed lake had formed due to recent climate change, creating a potential danger of outburst. The lake was 600 meters long, 200 meters wide, and approximately 15 to 20 meters in depth. The lake, being surrounded only by loose boulders, mud and ice, began to overflow its bank during the 3 days of heavy rains commencing on 14th of June. The weather forecast had predicted that there is all possibility that there will be almost cloudburst condition over the Kedarnath-Badrinath Valley. RESAT-1 remote sensing satellite was sending images to authorities, but there was no warning given for evacuation or preventing people to venture into those areas. There were approximately 58,000 tourists and pilgrims, and another 12,000 locals were in and around the Kedarnath temple on the day when the tragedy took place. Kedarnath town is on the wash plain of the Chorabari Glacier and considered very unstable due to shifting of the glacier and particular under the current global warming effect. The satellite images show the cloud formation and the terrain which could endanger the area as heavy rain or snow will loosen the boulders to roll down the mountain sides. On 16 June morning, the rising Mandakini and Saraswati rivers began to push down small boulders with great force down the valley. On 17 June evening, as the evening Aarti had been performed, The Chorabari Lake, known as the Gandhi Sarovar, burst and the entire water from the height of 13,500 feet gushed through, and the avalanche of water flowed down over the town of Kedarnath, along with boulders of the size of large cars weighing thousands of tons. All was over within 5 to 10 minutes. Kedarnath and all the habitation along Mandakini turned into graveyards. Thousands killed. Homes, hotels, housings razed to the grounds. Small villages disappearing. Roads and routes littered with dead bodies. It was a no power, no food, no drinking water, no shelter situation. Thousands trapped in the valleys of death. The devastating effect of the rainfall was further aggravated by the poorly planned hydroelectric projects which were constructed without paying heed to their environmental impact. Most of the dams released water from their reservoirs at the last moment. There are more than 422 hydropower projects in the Bhagirathi and Alaknanda river basin, and the valley had become an engineer's playground. On 17th of June, the Phata Byong power project on Mandakini was practically washed away. At Vishnugar, the river Alaknanda breached the dam and the entire river changed its course, washing away roads, bridges and hundreds of houses which were on its bank. The last moment decision to release the waters from the dams created havoc, and in some parts, along with Alaknanda and the Ganga after Devaprayag, the river rose to almost 150 to 200 feet from the normal level of the river, bringing with it boulders and hundreds of abandoned vehicles, steel bridges and huge quantity of construction materials of dam projects of the area. Experts say that unabated expansion of hydropower projects and unplanned construction of roads to accommodate ever-increasing tourism have been the major cause of such devastation. A new mountain range like the Himalayas will remain steady if not tampered with. But the huge expansion of roads, building dams for power generation, is instrumental, bringing the mountains in Uttarakhand down.